The O Cannabis Conference and Expo returns to Toronto June 1st through the 3rd, and there's still some good booth locations available. This exciting event is free for cannabis retailers and will feature Tommy Chong receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award at the O Cannabis Industry Awards. For more information about exhibiting or to register to attend, go to ocannabis.com. That's OCANNABIZ.com.
He smoked. It's just not for the podcast.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's just time for my regular smokes. It just kind of just works into it.
Well, the timing is perfect then. So for those that don't know, this is the Chronic Club. It's a mystery box. I literally hand deliver these products to these fine people. We've got Steve with Baked and Awake, Michael with the Aging Ent, and Miggy with 420 Miggy 420.
Hey, we hit 8,000 subscribers on CLN.
Cannabis Legalization News. That's right. Yeah, that's nice. 8,000. There you go. So today's mystery box unveiled is Blunt Royale. So how it works is there are 7 tips, or not 7 tips. There's 7 criteria that we're going to be taking a look at. So I'll pull that up in a second, but basically at the very end, we're going to judge this based on 7 criteria. It's going to get a certain score from all of us, and then that's how it's going to roll. That's basically the rules. Did I miss anything, fellas?
We gotta smoke it.
We all gonna get high.
So this is from the randomizer. Basically, I put in, all different criteria, joints, blunts, edibles, topicals, everything. And then the randomizer picks it, and it picked an infused joint. I picked this one from Blunt Royale. It's a 1 gram Fruitcake Dreams. So it is a 1 grammer that has a certain amount of kief on it. I guess it doesn't really say how much or what it is, but it's 46%.
Kief is like 0.1 grams. This is a minuscule amount of kief.
Yeah, it's like in the middle too. It's like just like a little bit of kief, and then a little bit of, you can see the like a flower in mine. How about yours?
No, I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
I love the form factor with the wood tip too.
Yeah.
Got that Swisher vibe going for me, or Black and Mild vibe going for me right off the top.
No, for real. Wood tips are where it's at this year.
Mm-hmm.
One of my clients does a wood tip blunt that I fucking love.
If this wood tip's any good, which it is, I'm probably going to reuse it at least one time. I'll roll another joint around this thing.
I can't do generational with a wood tip. The wood gets stained with the resin flavors.
One time. I wouldn't do it for a week or anything, but I'd do it one time.
I like the wood tip.
Somebody took the trouble of carving this tip. We're only going to use it one time. It's going straight to nowhere.
I mean, a lathe did it, but sure.
Well, what do you guys think about the blunt tips? I don't like the hemp tips. It seems like they're too filtered.
The swirl tight ones, yeah, not a big fan.
I have not bought very many of these blunt style products. I bought a few. It's been a while though. It's just one of those things like you wonder how much you're paying for the fluff and the packaging and the hemp wrap as opposed to like just getting the flower or, rolling a joint, buying a joint. I don't know.
How's your guys' burn?
Looks good. It lit nice and evenly. I got a little exhaust fan going to my window here so you can see my smoke blowing off, but it looks good. That's what I want to see. You guys look good too.
Same here, exactly. Look at this. Super even burn. Very clean all the way around. That's impressive, actually, for even early on.
Yep. Wasn't always the case in like 2014, 2015, 2016 when you were buying pre-rolls at the stores then.
Still not the case with a less, I think, premium type product, because they put a little money into the wood tip, they put a little money into the hemp wrap and stuff, but this is obviously flower. Like first puff, there's no oily, trim flavor going on here.
Yeah, that was a good taste.
It's my ashtray I've had for 100 years. It says "Let's Rock" on the side of his Ram Swans.
Did you kill the miniature ram yourself?
I think my wife got this for me. That's too. Awesome. I don't even know.
That looks dope.
It's a good ashtray. It's a damn fine ashtray. Just don't use any others. Just that's my one right here.
I am using the lid to the Blunt Royale that
Also
we got.
acceptable.
I got they're all out of reach, just out of reach. There's ashtrays back there somewhere.
So is this an indica or sativa? I didn't even look.
What do we got here? Fruity berry. What the heck? What is it?
Fruitcake Dreams.
Fruitcake.
And that one Teenage Dream song was flowing through my head since the second I read that damn label.
Here's something
Sherbert.
I wouldn't mind appreciating for these folks. You know, I just want to say thanks for putting the actual provenance, the real strain names underneath the marketing name. Okay, so we have Fruitcake Dreams, right, which is probably a made-up name by Blunt Royale. Or maybe it's from the people who they got the flower from, but it says here we're looking at sherbet dreams crossed with cherry pie. So at least most of us have smoked cherry pie at some point in time before in the past. I always like hearing, you know, at least that part of the story so we can pretend we know a little bit of what we're smoking here. So cherry pie is indica leaning, though, if I'm not mistaken, or a strong indica. So this is a hybrid. I imagine that sherbet dreams is a haze or a sativa of some kind.
Just a sunset sherb by haze. I've seen a sherbet haze a couple of times. So there's a lot of people, especially like I'm a latecomer to the cannabis industry in Washington. I got out here in 2015. I did not experience medical on the regular, and where I'm from, strains were all made up too because I'm from Chicago, right? So the strain shit means a whole lot less to me because, you know, it's a marketing tactic in a lot of ways now. That's the only thing it is. So I find it hard to care about provenance and the genetic history because I know how fluid that is in 502, and that's my primary experience with, you know, cannabis here. I'm mostly sticking with 502. So yeah, strain lineage isn't as important to me because I know that 502 company is just making shit up the whole time. And I know because I've been there, right?
Right.
So
we know what the rules are about that, or more specifically, the lack of rules around it. Or that, well, to be perfectly accurate, the rules specifically delineate that you can, as a producer or processor, change the strain name to anything you want to market it as, right? Sean Kemp,
Pretty much.
Kemp's Blue Dream, you know, this spring at his shops, if he wants to white label that with somebody to bring it into his store. So,
well, have you guys seen that Lethe article about how like name is not even really a thing? It's going to be about profiles. You know,
oh yeah,
cannabinoids.
Sativa and indica are bullshit. I've been saying this for 4 fucking years. This is about terpinolene leaning strains. It's about strains that have
about when you harvest your crop, how long you let it go.
I mean, partly that's more about potency and what's going to finish in the plant, but its genetic heritage is more about the terps. Oh, I'm sure you hear that coming through. Nice. Sorry about the train. But it's about the terps that are, you know, developing in the plant that all work together. And the terps are really where we're getting flavor profiles, complex effects. I mean, it's not a heady buzz or, you know, a Varin type effect like THCV will get you all racy and shit. That's from terps,
right?
Pretty much all of it. Yeah.
Having something to distinguish between daytime and nighttime, I think, is the biggest or most important factor for me. In college, when we got sativa, we thought it was kind of shitty weed because we were expecting that heavy hitting indica effect. So I think having the effects is sort of important to know. At least at night or.
No, I totally agree.
But yeah, I agree. I think that putting something behind indica sativa is not the right way to go. We've had podcasts about that, and with terpenes, as a matter of fact, is kind of the go-to. So
not only does the industry need to move beyond that, but the general public needs to be brought along in that evolving awareness because, you know, we all know this to some extent. You know, Michael, my only point about how long you let your crop go was really about the fact that, in my opinion, that alone could have more of an impact on whether a uninitiated cannabis newbie thinks they're smoking a sativa or an indica. Because, you know, you let that plant go 2 more weeks at the end of the harvest season, past when the the producer, the originator of the strain told you, you know, hey, this is an 8 or 9 week plant. You go ahead and leave that 9 week plant up for 11 or 12 weeks and take it down. And the person who put you on that strain in the first place won't even recognize it when they smoke it.
Well,
you know, and then of course the cure,
cannabinoid development along the path. But one thing really quick I want to jump back to. This Blunt Royale, I'm about this way, this far. I'm halfway through the kief, and it's getting real hard to pull on. I mean, it's getting real tough.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm at the bottom. Like I got like a maybe.
I'm okay. I'm still flowing.
Third.
Not too bad.
I had to use my poker toker to poke it just to get airflow through.
Gadgets. I've lighter bros are so goddamn good.
Got a lighter bro from Budwiz right now.
Filthy. Those are fucking
Budwiz
sick.
Is the shit. Every one of us needs to go hit up
That's
Budwiz.
a multi-tool. Okay, if you smoke weed, if you smoke flower, you need something like that in your jam. Shabam.
Best swag. I miss events just for the lighters and swag.
Not my friends, but Budwiz.
Yeah,
they are doing they're doing a qualitative brand and store-based review site. So you go in and you review specifically the brand or the store and some real specific components about it. I'm pretty jazzed about it. But also tool.
You know, back to like sativa indica, though, I think we all suffer like a drug ignorance thing, right? Like you ever have someone who drinks coffee and it actually slows them down, like it doesn't affect them? You know, because the endocannabinoid system, we're all different. So I mean, whether it's indica, sativa, I tell people they need a goddamn start a diary. I can't tell you how it's supposed to be.
Every single thing is a variable every single time. It's a new day. It's a different time of day. You're on an empty stomach. You're on a full stomach. You're full of energy. You're fucking clapped from the day before. You know, all super valid points.
Well, and then another like very specific indica type interaction that I've been having, GMO. I've been dabbing the hell out of Fat Panda and Dabstract GMO because it's so tasty. It tastes like the death of a garlic. It's so good. And I spent 6 days getting 4 hours of sleep and being completely fucking energized, just smoking GMO and changing nothing else about my life. And it's one of the heaviest hitting indicas that most people encounter. And for me, it is fucking drugs, man. It is get shit done drugs. And it's indica. It's not kind of indica. It's fucking deep in there, which I'm glad to find because I'm a racy kind of guy. I don't need to kick back and chill. I got too much shit to do. I'll chill in 50 years when I'm dead, I guess. Maybe 100 if I'm lucky. And if they get to put us in computers, dude, if they put our brains in computers, I'm living forever. Fuck it.
There's a little bit about that sherbet.
Nice. I was looking it up in another tab, but I didn't get that far because what I saw was sherbet. I searched on Sherbet Dreams, but I'm only seeing Sorbet Dreams results. You got sherbet there. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, they don't have sherbet dreams, but they do have cherry pie. So they're both supposed to be energizing, euphoric, happy, relaxed, or all three is how they're described. So it's a pretty good blend. How are you guys feeling so far?
Yeah, I was going to say, are we starting to work our way down the list yet? Are we going through the...
Well, I'd like to say I just got done smoking a gram joint and haven't died. So
there you go. Done already?
Good weed.
Done.
Really good weed.
Dang, Iron Lung.
I breathe that shit in, dog. my oxygen. Fucking no, dude.
I got to hurry. You know, I was going to say I'm just starting to feel it settle in on me, like it's starting to shape up. I won't say it's fully hardened yet, and I'm still only, you know, I'm probably 2/3 of the way through because I'm probably going to start running into. I don't know if this is all flower down to the wood or if I'm going to run into some filter here in a second.
Yeah, I feel it. Like at the end, you can feel that filter in the
filter jammed into this wood. Okay.
Yeah. So I cheated. So I've already smoked one. So at the very end, the reason why this clogs, Michael, is because a lot of the cannabis falls into this huge crevice that they don't stop. And so what happens is the base, it closes in as you breathe in, suck in, creating a clogged effect.
A carb hole, all sorts of shit.
Yeah, so that's why you had to get the toker poker and poke it back out to create a more wider base. it's one of the biggest defaults, I guess, in pre-rolls is not having a solid enough base. And that's why all of the pinching or the clogging happens. I've even seen it just kind of limp just from the get-go. So there's a lot of pre-rolls out there, not all
right
great.
If you're
where the cone gets narrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a machine, you're getting it, it's getting packed on a fucking vibrating table, right? It's
for the most part. Yeah. So if they put a couple more seconds into like, hell yeah, baked it away, because in my Instagram, my live, good.
That's what's up.
Hell yeah. But so for real though, producer processors can learn from that shit, and if they take the extra like 2 seconds at that stage to get it packed, if you're rolling 50 of them on a table, cool. Get a 50 packer at once and tamp them down properly at the mid stage.
Not for nothing, but I mean, it's been a while since I smoked cigarettes, but I never smoked a cigarette out of my pack before I whacked that pack into the palm of my hand about 10 times before I cracked it open, right? So that was just a learned behavior that I never questioned in terms of, maybe I'm sure I was pantomiming older smokers doing it themselves, but then I'm sure anybody who has spent any time smoking cigarettes, you open a pack of Marlboros, half that shit falls out the tip of those cigarettes if you haven't already packed them into their into their respective sleeves before you open that package. So I mean, we can nitpick them on this in terms of how to make a proper pre-roll. This one obviously seems to have performed.
It all comes back to value, right? Until we get down, until the price gets down to the other commodities like cigarettes and tobacco, whatever, it's still about value. So I think that's part of the
weed's cheaper than cigarettes right now.
Tobacco any cheaper than cannabis?
Really? No, weed is way cheaper, dude. Okay, so you can get bum schwaggity tobacco. I unfortunately am still a tobacco smoker. I'm working on it. I'm a vapor. I quit before, and this is my second time ever. But you can get like a big old pouch of schwiggity schwaggity tobacco for like $14-15, and it'll last you a couple of weeks. But in general, like a pack of smokes is about $10. And unless you're smoking a gram of weed a day to balance out that pack of smokes, which most people probably aren't really. Some people are definitely, but most aren't. Weed's less expensive.
I think people in legal states are. I mean, I think you have more consumers that are consuming larger amounts. And the market hasn't matched that price yet, where you can get mass amounts for cheap. Back in medical, that's how it was. But
I've seen $120 ounces that were as good as pretty much anything any medical grower has passed my way in the past 2 years who's still doing medical. Like that's you got to look far and few between and know who's supplying what shops, but it is possible. Maybe not in Seattle though, Miggy, because you guys are fucking your pricing's rough.
Yeah, the area's rough.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a more rural area. Ooh, man, I'm getting high for sure. Holy
I feel good. I definitely feel good. Didn't die, like I said.
Yeah.
And I'm walking.
Well, so not only, am I perceptibly high, and I think it'll go up a little bit from here before I finally finish this thing, and I am going slow on it. But look at how well it's behaving and letting me have like that cigar-like experience here. Like this is a pretty long smoke session for one gram pre-roll. It's behaving itself, and I don't feel like I've, been rushed through it, nor that it burned itself up and it wasted itself. Like I watched it like a fucking sparkler, just so pretty cool. I don't know how much they cost. Was this thing $20?
Oh, thank you for asking. It was $16.
Okay.
So yeah, $16 a piece, and I got a few of them. I got enough for myself a couple of times beforehand, because it was right at the end of Sober October. So I was going to celebrate on the golf course with one of them, and I got really high.
Walking around like somebody hungry at the grocery store. You haven't smoked weed in a month. You're like, I'm going to have 2 of those and 9 of those and 1 of those. Just give me the edibles now.
Yeah.
That bag's already open. Just give me that back. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just scan it and give it back. I haven't made some of those.
Man. So I would love to say that I had a really good time smoking this, but I'm going to be honest with you. The last half of it was a bit tough, was a bit rough, to pull. And I don't really smoke as much flower as I used to. The product's overall really good, but if we could get over the packing and making it so loose at the bottom so it was more consistent of a smoke, I would have been a little happier as opposed to the real tough like you're having, Steve, because you're after that slow smoke. I guess I'm generally not. I want to be like, I want Miggy lungs and just rip down a gram in a hit.
I mean, I'm talking too much too. I'm sitting here yakking through it. So
we're talking about appearance?
I could have smoked it by now.
Well, yeah, I guess, out of the 7 criteria that we're going to judge this product on, number 1 is appearance. So what do you guys think? Did it make it? Yes or no?
The kief, like how it just kind of covered like the center of it, was kind of weird to me. But I mean, it had a nice appearance as far as it just looked half naked with just the kief in the middle.
Okay.
I think they might have had a reason for that, like even it out, burn smoother, blah blah blip blop, so you don't get the sparkler effect. But yeah, same stuff.
Well, for the process, I imagine. But yeah.
Right, we probably want it right at the tip because when you first ignite, any joint and especially a twax joint, you get huge waste at the initial, right? So they put it right about where the cherry should have settled down, and then you were, really getting into it, and then you get the full effect because all that initial ignition was over with, and the first couple of tokes. I don't know.
So if you want to give them out of a full point, I'm going to give them the full point because I thought it looked, good, looked like it was supposed to.
Me too.
We'll get to the issues towards the bottom, like Michael was saying, with it being clogged and some other whatever. But I mean, appearance-wise, I thought it looked good. I'm going to give them a full point. Miggy, how about you? Are you going to give them half a point, no point?
No, I'll give it a full point. I thought it was a beautiful presentation. It looked like an $18 joint.
16. But Michael, how about 16. You? Full.
Oh, full point. Yeah. That was pretty. It sparkled nice. We were all like, ooh, looky. We all enjoyed that shit. Yeah, it was nice.
And Steve, just to confirm, you give him a full point?
Oh, yeah, full point.
All right.
Looks good.
Moving on to aroma. How did it smell?
I liked it.
Oftentimes, because I just realized now as well, this is also oil infused. So I take back all my complaining about the cloggage because there's concentrates. But
there we go, right?
It didn't smell like burny concentrates the way that twax joints often do because you're incinerating it. So whatever they used was obviously legit and clean, and it wasn't some like just whatever trash they had sitting around for it. So yeah, I liked the smell. It was legit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. We didn't enumerate that. It is a gram of flour, handmade oil, as they characterize it here, kief, and the wood tip. And as we already described, some kind of probably hemp wrapper.
There is a comma after handmade. Handmade and oil are 2 separate ideas, I think.
Thank you.
It's tiny. It's tiny.
Good job. So
at full point.
Yeah, I forgot that it was also oil infused. Yeah, I mean, this is probably it's about what you're going to get flow-wise, airflow-wise, through an oil, that's inside and wax on the outside. We've all bought one of those that turned into a fucking meltdown wreck before and tasted bad before it fell apart. So
I had one that caught fire all the way like a firework and almost lit my face on fire.
Oh man!
But I'm going to give it a full point for aroma as well. When you open it up, it smells really good. But then when you start burning it, it doesn't smell like a really funky cigar. So I'm going to give them a full point.
Hell yeah.
Agreed.
What about the taste? I like that wood filter. It kind of gives that a nice appearance as well as doesn't get all soggy and everything. So I didn't think the taste was bad. As you get that oil, sometimes you'll get kind of a resiny ashtray almost like taste. But I thought it was good all the way through. It did clog. We'll get to that maybe towards quality. But overall, I'm going to give them a full point for taste. It could have been maybe more flavorful, but with the concentrate in there, I'm just going to give that a pass and give them a full point.
I think early on it did have a lot of big flavor. Like right on the early fire, it was really robust, and then it kind of mellowed out. But yeah, just like you said, no weird muddy flavor from the oil or anything. I'm legit on a point for taste too.
Yeah.
Did I miss? Are we doing taste and aroma as a combo?
No, did you miss aroma?
Maybe. I might be a little stoned.
Okay. Did you give him a full point for the smell?
I did smell something. So I thought that was cool because I think I mentioned to you guys previously, my sense of smell is kind of dull. It's not the best. So whenever I can smell anything at all, then I'm pretty happy because I know that somebody who does have a nose will really smell it. So yeah, I did smell something other than the wood tip, which was also had, and it's part of the full package. So yeah, smell was good. Aroma.
You can give them a half a point, 3/4 of a point, full point.
Full point.
Full point it is. And then what about taste?
I'd say the same. I obviously smoked the whole thing. I took forever to do it. So I let it take its time getting weird if it was gonna. It seems like I might have got the best one of the bunch this morning. Although Miggy just inhaled his in like 3 sucks. That was crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Those are some fucking
just wolf
lungs,
that thing
bro.
down like my dog with a fucking milk bone. Just like, whoop, and I'm done.
This is a study. I'm here for science, so I had to commit myself. But when it comes to aroma, taste, and strength, I think it comes down to the plant too, right? Like they pick good plant, so both aroma and taste, they're gonna win on that one.
And then what about strength? You give them a full point for that as well?
Yeah.
Mickey's stoned off his ass, wandering the woods. I can't stop laughing over here.
For science, dude.
I am too. I would say it's more indica leaning. I tend to shut up when after I smoke an indica, and I'm like, it's hitting me behind the eyes. It's not energetic or euphoric or uplifting for me, but somebody who has ADHD or something might be like jumping off the walls.
Yeah, this is I feel like a little fountain of giggly bubbling up inside of me right now. Like that's where the effect is at on me. It's pretty good. That's that cherry pie though. For me, ADHD, I've got a couple other things, but cherry pie is always happy medicine for me. Like, and I'm glad that this cut came through because it's there for me for sure.
Full point?
For show.
Yeah.
And Steve, how about you? How you feeling?
Pretty solid. How I would characterize it would be whatever the sherbert is bringing to the table might have been what I felt initially, because I mentioned earlier that I was beginning to feel the effects and that it would probably go up from there. And intensity-wise, it has, and it hasn't left my head, but it is much more throughout my torso, and the rest of my body as well right now. I can feel myself kind of, more settled down. Maybe if somebody like ran it back and looked at our body language and our mannerisms over the course of the last like 20 minutes too, that might be interesting because I wonder if I've been, if I was more twitchy in my seat when I began or how I'm feeling right now. Because I could probably leave this call and go watch about 4 or 5 really stupid YouTube fringe documentaries right about now and not go downstairs until somebody yells that they need a snack or is half the problem. You know what I mean?
No problem.
So I'm assuming that's a full point.
Sure. Yeah, full point. Full point, you guys. Good work.
After the soliloquy of why he's so stoned. Yes. I love it. I love it.
All right. Moving on to cure.
Can we throw the the package type stuff into cure here instead of quality and care if we could, because we're not seeing bud or stuff like that.
So instead of cure, what do you want to?
Or include it, because part of the cure of flower, if we were looking at flower, we want to see how they treated it after harvest, really, right? That's part of it and how it came out. And I think that some of the things we ran into would fall under that better than quality and care, because well, maybe not. I don't know. How the hell do we talk
before we
cure on a joint? Yeah.
So there's cure and then quality care and then brand and packaging.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say is for the cure, because the only reason why I was able to smoke that so fast. Look, I'm an asthmatic. Like no shit, steep hills kick my ass and could kill me. But that a good cannabis purge, taken care of, cured, whatever process, when it's pure, I can smoke it like it's oxygen. So,
so
I
you
think,
can
yeah.
perceive that usually when it's just flower standalone. You feel like you can tell when something's been cured well and when it's been
and processed properly. You know, good paper. I mean, it all factors into it. And that was a great. I mean, it tasted really good. It went down no problem. You know, point being. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Are you there?
We still there?
I'm here.
Yep.
Okay.
The image on the screen share was doing a thing for a moment there.
Well, I was trying to find another option for a cure. I thought I had another.
Let's keep it as
image,
cured.
but-
Miggy has totally changed my mind. He's absolutely right. Like, for sure. I sat here going, man, I should have just shut my mouth. You know, yeah. Miggy's totally 100%. So I give him a point for cure as well for the reasons Miggy said.
Steve, how about you?
Also, I'm getting higher. I'm getting higher right now. Holy shit.
You know, I mean, we're in trouble, you guys, because there's only like a couple more categories, and we're not going to have much to knock them on before we're done. So they're going to like clean sweep us here any second now if we give them full points on everything. So I will award half a point on cure only on the basis of the fact that I know that as a producer, you're not going to take your A grades and put them inside of any of these. Okay? If we're talking about okay, maybe.
Some people, that's all they do, though.
Business model? Is this all these guys do?
It kind of
Maybe.
is. It kind of is. This little company,
They're
Platinum
just
Leaf
a
Society.
processor, right? They're just a processor. So they buy what they can buy from a producer. Are they a producer processor or a processor?
I
Do we
believe
know?
they're a producer processor. These guys, I'm not 100%, but Platinum Leaf Society is a PP. I believe they grow, they sell their product
a
like to
website
other
and stuff.
producers.
But I don't want to make it a commercial for them.
Yeah.
Either. I don't want to make it a
What?
commercial for them either. So agree
Here-
to disagree
here-
if you want. But I'm going to say
Fair.
most producers are going to buy and source quality B grade, popcorn or lowers from nice plants from the same crop that also gets parceled out and sold different ways to other processors who make product like this.
Yeah, but usually there's indicators for the consumer. This wood tip is a strong indicator that it's a premium flower going in because they're paying the same amount for this wood tip as.
I didn't say it wasn't premium flower.
Right, but generally, like I'm just throwing from my experience working with a bunch of producer processors and hearing their story. This whole packaging, tube, the cone, and everything costs the same as just this wood tip. And then the hemp wrap is probably going to be like 60 to 90 cents, depending on where they're sourcing them from. So it's this is actually like, it's like a glass bottled beverage. If you drink beer, a glass bottled beverage is an indicator that you're getting a higher quality. Not always means it, but it's an indicator. And I think these wood tips are like that for us in 502. When we see them, the producer processors like, look, I put $1 into packaging this thing or just wrapping it.
It looks like it's coming from Platinum Leaf Society.
Yeah,
they're getting a half a point from me because I can't see inside the joint.
And I'm
not going to take the time to go read all their marketing shit either right now.
Yeah.
And I just know
feel
from
you.
also working in the same segment, with the same type of issues, everything costs money every step of the way.
right.
We pay too much for every aspect of the business, from taxation to too much rent to everything else that goes along with being a producer processor in 502. And there's an extremely compelling, economy of scale case to be made for speccing the same quality flower that tested the same as the rest of the batch, but just isn't the shelf premium big nugs that are going in the ounce bags and the quarter ounce bags. That's all there is to it.
Sure, that's a hugely accurate point.
Process the flower that way. It just makes sense to process the flower that way. And so that doesn't mean they won't be cured the same way either, but it might also mean that.
Right.
So I'm going to give them half a point for the same reason that Steve said. And then moving on to quality and care, we've all said that the wood tip was a nice feature, the glass packaging. I guess we'll get to that with the package. But overall, I thought that I thought the care and quality was worth a full point from me.
You know, I can't. To Steve's point, I don't mind being a commercial for good products, but the thing is, when it comes down to the question that should be asked is, yeah, it's a good product, but is it worth $16? Is it going to be good medicine? It's not. For $16, it's just not going to be something that somebody that has pain every day can take and treat financially. So it's a good product, but I'll give them a point for that.
Word. See, I mean, I think that, yeah, it's definitely, from my perspective, you know, is it fun? Is it good? Is it tasty? Was it quality? I think, yeah, for sure. I guess I would have hoped that if it is this expensive, that more time would go into making sure a consistent pack is happening and a consistent keefing on the outside. Like, you're paying $16 a blunt. And if they are putting A grade buds in, which from the effect, I think, like, you know, this is their business model, is sell the best blunts we can. They should have done a little bit more making them the best blunts, you know? So I'm going to give them a half a point on it because it was sloppily executed, even though it's a really good idea.
Yeah. And to your point about the price, I would say that across the board for almost every product in that store, it's too expensive. It's not an everyday price for any edible. That's why, at least for me, I go with an RSO.
Yeah.
But a lot of those are novelty or weekend things. That's why we only do this once a month instead of every day.
Yeah, they took the weed, they put the weed in a hemp wrap, and then they put weed in that weed, and then they put weed on the outside of that weed.
Yeah, dude.
It's a novelty. Weed. Yeah, that's how we smoke weed. Weed on weed on weed on weed.
Oh, shit.
But you know, I to be honest, I do prefer pre-rolls. Like sometimes, like my go-to is legit. I like their burn, and then it's always been consistent. And to the model concept, you know, that's what they started off as, was just a farm that was going to make pre-rolls. That was it. You couldn't buy the flower. It was just
these
pre-rolls.
guys.
And then the
very interesting. There you
go. Legit. Not these guys.
Okay.
The guys, the ones that I smoke.
Okay.
Well, my go-to when I do when I can find them, but just saying that you can find quality stuff, but it's not like an everyday I'm gonna be my medicine, take care of me type thing. I mean, unless you can afford it, period.
I mean, for everyday medicinal use in this market space, I don't know a lot of people who are not using RSO as like a heavy medical if they need it. And that, but flower, like, I guess on the daily, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to think that anybody would be like, I want this fat blunt. That's, you know, party blunt.
Keep these in
daily
stock. I can't do without them.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say you guys are picking up on the exact same vibe, and it's just dawning on me. Like we talked about last time with the gummies, everything has its place, right? And so would any of us drop $16 on one of these day in and day out? Hell no. But would this be great to grab on a date night on the way, you know, into dinner with the lady or what have you, or to go join your friends, or to drop in a gift bag for another friend as a, you know, a token birthday gift of some kind? They're going to be squared away.
Token birthday gift.
For an hour or two, you know what I mean? So I like that a lot. Like for that kind of use case, the value to me is pretty high. So I don't know if that's going in the quality and care category or where that point would be awarded, but if that's what we were focusing on.
Point.
Yeah, and I'm stoned. Again, I'm stoned. Full point.
Have you noticed how much longer each aspect is taking us as we progress through the stoniness?
Blunt Royale wins, no matter what we say whatsoever. The evidence is on the screen. We're stoned raiders right now, and we're in the grip of the Blunt Royale.
Steve, lead it off with brand and packaging.
Pretty good. I thought I was looking at like Marley Natural or something, or some Bob Marley, packaging at first. So I had to read it then to get straightened out on that. There's a little bit of the kief on the inside of my tube, so they lost a little bit of their own product in shipping. And I think you can mitigate that ever so slightly with maybe like a light parchment paper outer that only stays on until this comes out of the tube. So that would be a constructive suggestion for them if anybody from that company ever saw this. Great blunt, great experience. It's not a lot of kief that's left on the inside of the thing, and it's not going to show up on this camera anyway, but you feel me. So, but I love it. The screwable top, I'm keeping that. I'm going to put another joint in that. That's going in a pack somewhere, so that won't become litter. So full point, and I could see it through the package. So full point, what more can I ask for?
Yeah, I was going to give them a full point as well. It's plastic. It's really thick plastic, not glass.
I guess I could say 3/4 of a point if I wanted to be a tool, because I did say I mistook them for Bob Marley brand. If I wanted to pick a nit there.
You can give them 3/4 if you'd like.
I'll give them 3/4.
That's all right.
Sorry, Blunt Royale. That's it.
Yeah, so for the brand and packaging, I guess I'll nitpick as well and just say that it's my label's not on straight, and it didn't really come at me. Like I went after the randomizer picked the product, so I knew what I was going after. This one was in my price range and recommended by the bud tender Alec at Dockside. So that's why I went after it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't see it. So I will give them half a point. I'm going to retract that full point and go half a point.
Right on. I'm going to go with my typical bitch. That's just excess packaging. And it's whatever. It's typical. So I'm going to go with half a point.
They tried. They went for the larger plastic to a point that Steve made. If they did put parchment in it, we'd be bitching about not having seen it initially. That's a reality too.
Fair.
So they have to balance things out. But I've got that same exact concern. Kief covered joints, I'm paying for milligrams of THC, and I don't want 80 of them to be stuck in the jar, man. It's again, same thing that Steve said. This label, somebody at some ad agency spent a lot of time on this generic fucking label that looks like 80 other labels for 1,000 other products. And I am never, ever going to look at that and be like, oh, that's those guys. Just not. I'm going to be a dick about this. I'm only giving them a 1/4 point. The only thing they get out of me for the packaging, nice tube. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, tallying all that up, that is 86% or 6 out of 7 leaves, I guess, as we'll say.
All right.
For us, that's us getting them fuckers, isn't it?
We really had to beat them up on some bullshit to even do that to them, because we're obviously all stony.
Yeah.
So,
and we've been really nice. Everybody's gotten 99.9.
Yeah.
Well, there is bad product out there. Josh has gotten some good stuff, but there is stuff out there. There's brands I'll tell you I won't. If Josh, if you're by Liberty Reach, that'll be a reach for me.
So I'll tell you what, Liberty Reach has okay. The only Liberty Reach product that I've actually had that I've enjoyed a lot, they have okay shatter every now and again, and it's just okay. That's the top level they put out. We're not talking about them, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I think I've seen them. I don't know if I bought them or not. But.
Yeah,
I tried.
Sweet.
They were cheaper.
That was a good time. That was great.
Yeah.
Super enjoyed it, actually. Overall, really enjoyed it.
I am
more fun than a CBD gummy.
Yeah. Pretty stoned.
Yeah.
So next time we're going to do it next month. I think the 19th of December. I'll have to hit the randomizer and see what happens. One of the ideas was to get a 2-foot long pre-roll. I've got a Challenger cone from Raw, so that fits about 2.5 ounces.
I could smoke one of those probably if I had to.
So the idea was to get together, create some kind of hookah thing, and socially distance, blaze this $1,000 retail value pre-roll, and do the 7 criteria of Chronic Club.
Right on.
But we'll have to wait and see if that happens. We're looking for their sponsorship too for dabs and whatever else.
I was going to say, I thought we were all each getting a 2-foot long joint. That's just going to sit here until we whoever fell down last.
Not yet, Steve.
That'd be a good challenge, man.
If
We
you
gotta get
can
some
get
followers.
somebody to pack a 2-foot joint for
The
me, right? And then
Chronicon.
get somebody to process it into rosin, and I can smoke all that rosin in one sitting. I don't think I could do a 2-foot joint by myself these days. I don't smoke enough.
Yeah,
flower.
It would take a lot.
Yeah.
It'd take a lot. I'm willing to try.
3 years ago, me, when I was smoking like, an eighth a day of flower, I think I could have done it. But yeah, I'm scared of that.
Well, assuming we're not all under even more rigorous house arrest than we all already are by the 19th, I'm down to join that gathering if we can put it together. So,
yeah.
But
right on.
Yeah.
You know how good that blunt was, or the wrap? It's so good. I gotta go do housework now.
Yeah, you better now.
I literally hear my dishes calling me. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go get so much stuff done.
I am going to watch some football and build out a pitch deck and pro forma financial statements and get it done.
Nice.
And then later on, I'm going to smoke another blunt from Steve's stuff that he gave me. Very, very thank you for that. All right, let's roll this up. Steve, where can they find Baked and Awake?
You can find me on all podcasting platforms as Baked and Awake. The Baked and Awake podcast has been going since 2017. And I'm also on YouTube as well and produce some video content that supports the podcast content. Josh, I mentioned the Talking Hedge and the Chronic Club on the episode that I recorded this morning that'll be going out this weekend, both on 2 podcasts and YouTube. So thank you guys for hanging out today. Enjoyed it.
And Baked and Awake actually inspired this podcast. So if y'all didn't know, that's a shout outs to Steve and Baked and Awake.
Thank you, dude. I don't know that I knew that.
Yeah,
hey, we got to get that guy for a show.
Yeah, we should. Well, I've been trying to contact him, but it's really hard.
Yeah.
So, hey, Miggy, where can they find cannabis legalization news? Where are you at?
All the podcast platforms, Spotify, we're on YouTube every Wednesday, and check out our Facebook page too. It's got over 300,000 likes or some shit. It's a free THC is the URL.
Right. Yeah, what he said, the Talking Hedge, and then Michael, the Aging Ent. What? I know you got a couple of things going on. Where can they find you?
AgingEnt.com, as always, AgingEnt.com. The Marijuana Encyclopedia podcast, old episodes are back. So if you hit me on SoundCloud, iTunes, all that stuff, they finally uncensored me after 2 years and let me share my content again on that platform, which they had all the only original copies of, which was cool, right?
Very cool. And did you get my video on November 1st for your inebriation show?
I did, and I haven't processed it yet.
No worries. As long as it
yes.
got to its home, that's all I care about.
Yes.
Whatever. All right. With that, we're going to roll this up. So until the next time, I think we're out.
Thanks, guys.
This was fun. So fucking high.
Absolutely. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
it was.
Thanks,
You
Josh.
guys.
Looking forward to next month.
Later.
Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.
Hello, hemp friends. This is your host, Morris, from Volume Up, the Let's Talk Hemp podcast, where we explore and discuss all things hemp all the time. From industrial to nutritional to therapeutic to lifestyle, hemp has a place and a home pretty much everywhere. Download episodes now of the Let's Talk Hemp podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Come get loud with me on Volume Up as we take industrial hemp to a whole new level in 2022 and beyond.